November 23rd, 1942. El Alamein, Egypt. The desert hums under the noonday sun. Heat shimmers off the dunes like rising ghosts. A convoy of British trucks grinds to a halt, engines coughing in the sand. Their commander, Major Robert Fraser, wipes the sweat from his brow and curses the terrain. Behind him, a small dust cloud races closer, a stubby, open-top vehicle bouncing across the desert floor, cutting through the ruts and rocks as if they weren't there. The British soldiers squint. "Bloody hell," one mutters. "That little thing made it all the way here." The vehicle screeches to a stop beside them. A young American driver jumps out, sunburned, grinning, scarf fluttering in the hot wind. "You boys need a tow?" he shouts, patting the hood proudly. The letters USA gleam faintly through the dust. The British major laughs in disbelief. "What do you call that contraption?" The driver grins. "A jeep, sir. Best damn mule in the desert." And at that moment, half a world away, German officers in North Africa still sneer at the same machine. In the ranks of the Afrika Korps, under Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, word has spread about the new Allied toy car. Reports call it small, loud and vulnerable. A civilian novelty unsuited for war. In Berlin, the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, OKW, dismisses it outright. "An army runs on tanks," one general writes, "not tin cans." But the desert doesn't care about pride or doctrine. Days later, as Rommel's supply lines crumble under constant Allied air raids, his troops begin to notice something strange. More fast vehicles slipping between the dunes at night, cutting telephone lines, sabotaging fuel dumps, and vanishing before dawn. They call them Teufelswagen, devil wagons. Each carries just 3 or 4 men, stripped of doors and windshields, bristling with machine guns and grenades. They appear suddenly, unleash chaos, and disappear into the sand. They are the long-range desert group, British and New Zealand commandos, and their weapon of choice is not a tank nor a truck, but the jeep. "Speed over armour," one officer explains. "Mobility is survival." Rommel's men quickly learn that their mockery was misplaced. In one intercepted report, a German patrol describes being ambushed by fast light vehicles equipped with Vickers guns and uncanny agility. The survivors call them the Sand Hornets. For the first time, the desert fox realizes even the smallest prey can bite back. June 10th, 1944, Normandy, France. Rain hisses against the hedgerows. The smell of cordite and diesel fills the air. A narrow dirt road winds between shattered farmhouses, littered with wreckage from the previous day's battle. At the edge of the field, a column of Willys MB jeeps growls to life. Behind the wheel of the lead vehicle, Sergeant James Harlow lights a cigarette, his knuckles still caked with mud from the landing at Omaha Beach. "Orders are to get supplies to the front," says his corporal. "They say the road's mined." Harlow smirks. "Then let's find out how lucky we are." He slams the gear, and the jeep leaps forward, light, agile, unstoppable. German spotters watching from the tree line see the strange little vehicles advancing fast, bouncing over craters, weaving through wrecks. "What are those?" one asks. His lieutenant shakes his head. "Not tanks, not trucks." Then a burst of machine gun fire erupts, but the jeeps don't stop. They zigzag through the open fields, kicking up mud as they race closer. The German MG-42 gunners can't track them fast enough. In seconds, the small convoy disappears behind the ridge, leaving only smoke and confusion behind. A stunned corporal whispers, "They're madmen, all of them." But the truth is simpler. The jeep wasn't just transportation, it was mobility incarnate, the perfect machine for a war that refused to stay still. Every division, from the infantry to the medics, depended on it. Generals held strategy briefings from the back seat. Chaplains used it as mobile pulpits. Engineers turned them into flamethrower platforms, rocket launchers, even field ambulances. In one iconic moment during the Battle of Monte Cassino, a jeep carrying wounded soldiers crawled up a bombed-out monastery slope where no truck or tank could go. "It's like a mountain goat," a British officer joked, only angrier. By 1944, over 600,000 Jeeps had been built, enough to circle the Earth twice if lined up bumper to bumper. To the Germans, who once dismissed it as a joke, it now represented something terrifying, the relentless movement of the Allied war machine. Where tanks bogged down, the Jeep slipped through. Where trucks broke axles, the Jeep kept rolling. And where soldiers once marched for miles, now they rode to victory, fast, fearless, and free. On the outskirts of Caen, a captured Wehrmacht officer finally admits to an American colonel, "We laughed at your little car once." The colonel grins, brushing mud off his uniform. "You're not laughing now, are you?" The German sighs. "No. Now we call it the car that never dies." May 1945. Berlin has fallen. The war is over. The streets are rubble, and the smoke has finally cleared. Amid the ruins, a single Jeep rolls slowly past the Brandenburg Gate. Its American driver looks around at the destruction, the stars on his vehicle gleaming faintly in the morning light. From the desert sands of Egypt to the forests of Europe, the same machine has been there. Loyal, resilient, unbreakable, soldiers write home about it. Journalists call it the vehicle that won the war. Even General Eisenhower would later say, the Jeep, the Dakota, and the landing craft were the three tools that won World War II. But for the men who drove them, the Jeep was more than a machine. It was a lifeline. In Normandy, it brought medics to the wounded. In Italy, it carried food and ammunition through roads that no truck could cross. In Burma, it hauled wounded soldiers through jungles too thick for anything else. And when peace finally came, the Jeep didn't disappear. It returned home, to farms, fire departments and rescue teams, carrying with it the dust of battlefields and the memories of the men who trusted it with their lives. Years later, one German veteran was shown an American Jeep at a museum. He stared at it for a long moment before saying quietly, "That little car chased us from Africa to France. We never understood how something so small could do so much." That, perhaps, was the secret all along. Not size, not speed, but reliability, courage, and ingenuity. The same traits that drove the Allies to victory. As the old veteran turned to leave, he muttered in German, half to himself, half in awe, "Ein Teufelswagen, indeed." A devil's car. And in that quiet museum hall, even decades later, the spirit of the Jeep, the little car that could, still seemed to hum with the echo of an engine that refused to quit.